Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nairobi Sevens. Kenya versus Uruguay is the match we've got coming just around the corner. Now, this Kenyan side have been very strong throughout this competition, been showing a bit of dominance and trying to get themselves back up on Division 1. It's a little bit of a long-winded process now compared to what it used to be. But this Kenyan side, they have started well. USA in the same boat, although they are getting beaten at the moment, the USA. 28-0 by Germany, so that makes things a little bit more intriguing when it comes to the top four battle. Looking through at the starting lineup for Kenya, it is Kevin Waikesa, George Oro, who is the lone captain in the starting lineup for this contest, George Okoth, or Okio, I should say, Samuel Azati, Nigel Amaitsa, Patrick Odongo Okongo. Every time that man scores, I get a little bit more nervous because the way that he scores tries is he will glide and jump and slam down on the turf, and eventually he's going to injure himself. I can see it coming, but for now he hasn't. He always does that little dance after he finishes scoring as well. Ojwang, the last man in the starting lineup. This Kenyan side is stacked, and they have shown time and time again throughout this tournament exactly how strong that this side can be. They are up against Uruguay, who at times have had opportunities on the World Sevens circuit. They now want to build their way back up through the rankings too. Diego Ardo is the captain. They've got Thomas Echeverri, Vidal, Joaquim Fresnedo, Ignacio Akiki, Juan Manuel Tafa Naberi, and then also Dante Soto. And their starting side so far for the Uruguayans, their results that they've had. They beat Belgium 38 points to 14. They also had a game earlier on up against the USA yesterday, and that game was 17 points to 14 in favour of the US. So they are competitive up against the top sides. They lost by 5 up against Germany. They're starting to put together a few decent results overall. Now, I will mention that yesterday there was the match between Germany and Kenya that we didn't get to cover on the channel. And in that game, it was 15-10 in favour of Kenya. So Kenya currently undefeated. On the women's side of things, I believe Argentina seem to be the side to beat. Although they haven't played South Africa yet, that is the next game that we are covering on the channel. We have got there. I feel happy whenever I come to you live, says Peps Fox, and we've still got plenty more coming up today. We've got a few more matches of the Sevens, and then alongside that, the Six Nations between Wales and France. Now, if you are a Welsh supporter, you may not feel so happy when those two sides play later on. Kenya to the world, says Victor. And also we have got there, so what's this Sevens happening now? Is this the lower tier? So it is tier 2 that has taken place at the moment. So last week we saw the tier 1 Sevens. The week prior to that was also tier 1. This is the first of 3 tier 2 Sevens leagues. Now, the way that it works is you want to be inside of the top 4 out of the 6 teams, and I believe top 4 qualify for the championship. And in that championship, you have the opportunity of getting promoted onto Division 1 next year. So it's a bit of a, like I said, a long-winded, confusing process, but we get there in the end, and hopefully we see one of these two sides on that circuit as well. But it is kicked off by Uruguay, bit of an anticlimax. That ball's gone straight into touch. And now Kenya will have themselves the opportunity on the halfway line with either a scrum or a free kick to get this match now underway in a little bit more of an emphatic fashion. We have got the how can I watch this? It is available on Rugby Pass TV for free, depending on the country that you're in. I will mention some countries, if you already have a broadcaster, they don't actually let you watch on Rugby Pass TV, but I'd highly recommend checking it out, as you should be able to watch some of the Sevens wherever you are. And even if you don't have the ability to watch it live, I believe you'll be able to watch the highlights of these games on Rugby Pass TV as well. As it's still pool play, I think everything is pool play for these tier 2 games. No knockouts or anything along those lines. You just pretty much, you want to be in that top 4, and you just want to keep on building in the whole points differential side of things as the competitions we're on. But yeah, from what my knowledge is, I don't believe they have any quarterfinals, semi-finals, or anything like that. It's just pretty much you want to be in that top 4 to avoid the bottom 2. But now running this one forward for Kenya at the moment. A nice run down the wing, giving it to Patrick Odongo Okongo. I mentioned about that man's finishing ability when it comes to scoring tries. He has knocked that one on, so Uruguay clean the ball up just out from their goal line. Looks like Kenya going to try and turn this into a rolling maul. Mention once again, this is happening in Nairobi, so you can really hear the support that has taken place for this Kenyan side. There is the knock on, so they will go back for the scrum to Uruguay. They are a competitive side. We've seen them push Germany We've seen them go head-to-head with the USA. They actually had a little bit of a feature on that Sevens circuit last season, which was fantastic to see. Thanks, bro. Women's game are happening too. They are indeed. So on the women's side of things, there is South Africa, Argentina, China. There is Spain. Who else have we got? Brazil. And then there is one more team that it's going to really annoy me that I can't remember. It is... did I say Kenya? If I didn't say Kenya, it is actually Kenya, the host nation, who are in there as the last women's side. Now, ready to kick this one downfield. And that one does go into touch from Uruguay. Aloha, my tune for the game. And also we have got their left field featuring Africa Babata and Africa Sox Kenya Let's Go. Says Ruby. Yeah, South Africa, they will be in action up against Argentina. A top of the table clash for these two sides. I will try to tune in on Rugby Pass. Says J2. Yeah, there's plenty of the Sevens taking place with so many games over the pretty much all the period because you've got 5 games per team. A live stream link says kick. So do you have Rugby Pass TV? I'll try and send one through, but I don't. Oh, that's a hard collision there for Kevin White Kessa. But I will mention if you're in Kenya, I think it is on, is it KTV or something along those lines? There's actually not the free-to-air option for it, unfortunately. But, yeah, if you're in New Zealand or any other location that don't have a broadcaster, I believe Rugby Pass TV is your way of being able to watch it. And Lockie Ferguson went to New Zealand for something important. Says Pep Swox. Oh, so he's no longer with the team. We have got there, Kenya annoys you, you stupid bro. What annoys me? What did I say that said Kenya annoys me? Was it that I said that Patrick Odongo Okongo is going to injure himself from scoring tries? Was that the thing that I said that annoyed me? I feel like whatever it was said, it wasn't actually serious though. As I've mentioned time and time again, that the only thing that annoys me about Kenya is the fact that they're not on the main circuit, which they should be, but World Rugby screwed them over. They have got themselves the possession now, sitting only about 7 metres out from the try line. And it's just the knock-on there from Uruguay. You said nothing, bro, says J2. I'm trying to work out what it would have been, though, that got misconstrued. And he said, we'll be back for the Super 8. Okay, well, that's good news for the Kiwis then, in that case. And we have good there. Good morning, Hamish and Jack. Could you explain how the semis and finals are looking for both men's and women's? I don't think they have semis or finals for this competition. That's going to be now the penalty for Uruguay, just 1 metre short of their own try line. Brilliant defence from this Uruguayan team. And Kenya win, says Wambua Bernard. Now taken nicely for Uruguay. Kenya's defence throughout this tournament has been strong. They haven't let too many tries in, but this is a dangerous Uruguay team. Now, another step. Currently on the halfway line for Uruguay. False allegation, says Ruby. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the live stream and see what he's picked up on that, like he's annoyed about. And so everyone just plays against each other. Yeah, so from what I've been able to gather, it's just like a group stage situation of 6 teams. You want to be in the top 4 by the end of all of the competitions, and then you move on to the championship. Or something along those lines. I think it's the way that it works. Do you think should be more teams in the top comp? Should Kenya be swapped for another team? Says Studs Rays. Well, like Great Britain, I feel still have done enough to keep their spot on the top 8 because I think they're the team that a lot of people refer to when they say a team could get kicked out. But I just think that they broke the system by not just keeping it with 16. Like, you think of the sides that we're missing out on the main circuit. Because of the Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. You're missing out on Kenya. You're missing out on Samoa. You're missing out on the USA, Canada, Germany. From what we've been able to see throughout this tournament, they look like they should definitely be up there. Ireland, they would be still a Sevens team. At the moment, they're nowhere to be seen because of the fact that divisions and systems came into play. Now running for, beautiful run from Kenya. They'll break through, and that is the first try of this contest. It is great work from the Kenyan forward, A Muth is having, or sorry, a Koth, I should say, is having a little bit of a dance before he's even put that ball down. And he's just waiting at the moment for one of the Uruguayan defenders to come get him. Now places the ball. It's straight between the posts, so Kenya will take a comfortable lead heading towards the halfway line. Spain was getting strong too. Spain, luckily, are still on the main circuit for the men's. Their women's side looks pretty handy. I think he mixed up what you already clarified, bro. I agree. It is annoying that Kenya aren't on the top anymore. Says J286. When's New Zealand playing? I don't keep up with the Sevens much. So New Zealand are in the Division 1 of the Sevens, whereas this one at the moment is Tier 2. So New Zealand, the next time that they play is actually early March, and that is going to be for the Vancouver Sevens, I believe. So we've still got a couple more weeks until we get to see the Kiwis in action, I think. Or it might actually be 3 weeks, I believe. But then the week after that, it's also going to be New Zealand in action. And then the week after that, we're back to the Tier 2 Sevens. Sad to see no Ireland, especially since their women won a leg not long ago. And the men were up there. Says J2. Yeah, because their women's side, I thought they were still on the circuit. But I think they may have also decided to give it up, unfortunately. Which is, like I said, it's a massive shame and wouldn't have happened if they had just kept the 16 teams. Like, I've already heard the complaints about the main Seven circuit, as everyone said the matches are just the same each and every week. And don't get me wrong, those matches are very close at the moment. And I do feel like for competitive sake, like it makes sense to only have 8 teams. But other than that, for entertainment, like there were 20,000 Kenyans in attendance for this weekend of Sevens, and maybe even more. And that's all people that could have been watching on the main circuit had they kept Kenya on it. So they were talking about how it's to save money and, you know, to help out the financial plans, but surely selling like more tickets to events would have helped that just a little bit. Yep, close, but same matchup, says J2. Now, second half just about to get underway. We've just seen the 1 try being scored so far from Ojwang. Side of that, though, Uruguay, they haven't really had an attacking chance from outside of their half. So I'm curious to see what they can bring in to this next one. Now ready to go. And this one's going to be kicked off long. Nicely taken. And Kenya now, getting the penalty. 10 metres out from Uruguay's line. So that possession and territory is still heavily in favour of the Kenyans. Close-up matches. Cheers for the work, bro. We'll have a look on Rugby Pass, says J2, so we'll see you maybe later on. And basically a league system. I think I missed that one from Hano, but yeah, pretty much. Or at least from what I've been able to gather of this kind of coverage so far. They always show the top 4, and then they have a relegation-type looking line, and then the 2 below. And I believe if you're the 2 below, you are then next year back in Division 3, that you have to play off in that one-time tournament to get promoted again. Maybe, I think is how it works. But yeah, there's a real lack of Sevens happening for sides like Samoa at the moment, who did miss out on the chance of going into Division 2. And I don't know how they get more games now. Backline movement, chance here for Kenya out wide. It will be another try. And this time it is George Oro who celebrates big time with the crowd too, as Kenya take the lead that little bit more. Go like that. We'll add more points on the board. And we'll go like that as well. 8 minutes into the contest, 12 points to 0. People are saying Henry Pollock looked like a blonde Willie Engelbrecht, says Hano. I learned a lot about how people feel about Henry Pollock at halftime in that stream between England and Scotland. But then, like, the thing is, I think a lot of the reason that people don't like him isn't even relevant to anything he's done. Like, I went on Facebook to check out what people were saying about the rugby straight afterwards. And there was a fake article about Henry Pollock saying something like, Scotland need this win because of the history between the two sides. And everyone believed it. So they were all saying, no, we now hate Henry Pollock even more. And it's like, it's Facebook. It's fake. And like, yeah, it just seems like most of the hate for Pollock is because of people being, like, no offense to some people, but being too stupid to realize that they're being clickbaited. But I can see the comparison a little bit for the blonde Willie Engelbrecht thing. just in terms of the way that they play as well, in terms of getting in those breakdowns. And it looks like the cold front we have here a few days ago has reached you, Hamish. Yeah, see, we're sitting 13 degrees, though, at the moment. It's just that we're getting a lot of rain. There's a knock-on again from Uruguay, struggling to put together more than one or two phases at the moment. Throughout this matchup, Kenya putting on the pressure with those big hits. What a lame way to end a winning streak. Hand the Six Nations to France, there's Big Rig. And England loses to Scotland, made me sad. Although the thing is, though, Scotland have beaten England 5 out of the last 6 times. It happens each and every year at the moment. So, you know, it's just a trend. It's some sort of thing that always kind of, and it happened last year as well. Everyone, oh no, the Six Nations is over. But the last stage of the comp was close. Was the old competition with 16 teams sustainable, though? Well, the thing is, they seem to find a way of losing money no matter what they do. And I can probably guarantee you that with the 8 teams, they've probably lost more money because there's a lot less people watching Sevens now. So, like, it's a tricky one because I think they were losing money with 16 teams. They were then losing money with 12 teams because people were annoyed that it wasn't 16 teams. And now I believe they're losing money with 8 teams because they're annoyed that it's not 12 teams. So, like, I think no matter what they've done now, because they've changed the Sevens format so much, rather than just trying to give it a new coat of paint and expanding upon the 16 teams and making it seem like, you know, a way of doing it where you can make everyone happy, they've kind of lost the audience through the way that they've done it, which is one of those things that they always say you don't want to do because as soon as you lose the money coming in through people watching, then you're in a lot of trouble anyway. Kind of wanted the win streak to continue until England face the Box for added drama. Says Big Rig. I can tell you right now a lot of Springbok supporters wanted that too. And we have got there, where'd that go? About the observation since you're wearing a hoodie. Yeah, although it's a thin hoodie, I went for the lighter option here. But now Kenya, currently 3.5 minutes in the lead, 12 points to 0. So I don't see a way of Uruguay getting back into this game unless they score right about now, I would say. And it looks like they're going to try. Currently on the halfway line, another knock on, though, from the Uruguayans. And now Kenya moving it away to the left-hand side. It's been a little bit stop-start around the halfway line in the last little while, but this is now Kenya's attack starting to show exactly what it can do. Going off to the right-hand side, popping it through the gap, and that was all but through for Kenya to score another one. Big knock on, though, in the breakdown, and that gave it away. There was a look towards the referee from the Kenyan player who gathered the ball and lay on the ground. And they always say, if you knocked it on, don't look at the ref, because then that straight away tells them that you're feeling a little bit guilty about it. And then the referee blew the whistle for the knock on. I think he was going to have play on up until that eye contact was made. We see it there. Looks up. Akoff actually paused as well to look at the ref. Go, is it knock on? Okay, it is. So then back to the scrum. I need the video part. It is on Rugby Pass TV as your best possible option, depending on where you are in the world. If you are in a place that already has a provider, it means that you won't be able to watch through Rugby Pass TV as it will be blocked. But yeah, Rugby Pass TV is your way to go. If you are trying to watch these games, there is still a couple more matches involving the Kenyan men and women's sides. I believe Kenya women, they just finished playing up against Argentina not too long ago. They did lose 5-0, but still very competitive in that contest. They still have a game up against the Spanish women in about 2 hours or so's time, maybe actually almost 3 hours. And then Kenya are playing up against the USA. That's happening in 4 hours' time. People giving Scotland enough credit. They were outstanding. Probably not. It seems like the cool thing to do at the moment is to hate on England rather than praise Scotland, which is the sad reality of like rugby fan base nowadays. It's rather than saying this side goes well, it's this side's bad and we hate this side and we're going to, keep on going on about them rather than the winners. But Scotland were phenomenal. In the early stages of that game, they pushed England in a way that we haven't seen any side do throughout that winning streak in terms of just completely relentless, going at them time and time again and just continuing to apply that pressure early. Because I think those first early tries that we saw were the reason that Scotland went on to win that game, because England just had too much of a mountain to climb. Nice run off the back here for Kenya, getting close to scoring, reaching it out. They're going to check it, but I believe Samuel Azati has just got to the try line, and that would be the third try of the contest. In fact, I've checked it quickly, and it is awarded. So Kenya get themselves another one in this contest. They are showing exactly what they can do throughout this matchup. Up against a side in Uruguay who have had close matches all the way through. But Kenya having a one-sided game up against them here. And Scotland played well, no doubt. They came out swinging, says Big Rig. Wouldn't it made it more fun, agree, says Big Rig. Scotland dominated the whole tackle collision, beating England without a functioning scrum. That's the thing that made it even more impressive too. The fact that Scotland had a couple last warnings that said, like, if you have another bad scrum, you go into the bin, and they somehow survived throughout everything in terms of scrum time. Netherlands is playing Georgia. I think Georgia will win, says Jasmine. They better, because, you know, that whole thing of Georgia on the Six Nations, they have to make sure that they win every European championship they're in up till that stage now, where the question gets asked once more. Going off to the right-hand side here for Uruguay. Currently 40 seconds remaining. Now, ball's still there. Off to the left-hand side. Let's go Kenya, says Joseph. I wish they lost from a tournament perspective. I just wish they lost from a tournament perspective. Yeah, see, the tricky thing, though, is that they would have had to have a loss somewhere along the lines to have lost that tournament. Whether that was going to be to France in the final round, whether that's to Ireland next week, or, of course, that game up against Scotland, which just seems to be the bogey team at the moment. We need Wales to win. If Wales won, all I'm going to say is that would mean that the Six Nations last rounds would be absolutely incredible. Because there has been, I can't think of a time when the Six Nations has been one win, one loss for every single side. And I'm sure like some sort of statistician or statistician who knows everything about the Six Nations would be able to tell me. But I feel like it hasn't happened. At least not with 6 teams anyway. Now, ball's there. Going back across to the left-hand side. Chance for Uruguay to get something going. Nice pass on the left-hand side. They want one consolation try at the end of this game, currently just after the full-time siren, but the win here will be going the way of Kenya. Oh, missed tackle. Now, back across to the right some more. It is going to be the try. I believe it is Vidal who has been able to score it for Uruguay. It will not win them this game, but it would give them a little bit of a better-looking scoreline. Like I mentioned, there haven't been any huge one-sided games involving Uruguay throughout this competition, and that's kind of the way that the trend will continue. With the fact that they are sitting now only down by the 10. If Wales win tonight by a lottery ticket, because God is drunk, says Big Rig, and Wales winning would be incredible. And they should have kept the Sevens World Cup. The new tournament winner thing is bland. The game is still exciting though, says Ruby. Yeah, like they've still got potential because Sevens is a great, like, when you look at Sevens, anyone who hasn't watched a game of Sevens, normally when they come in and they watch a little bit, they love the fast-paced nature of it. They love the fact that the games don't take an hour and 40 minutes to get through. It's just quick, snappy, excitement. The crowd's into it. So, like, the format still has a lot of time to succeed. It's just they have to find a way of finding that balance of you're not having it feel like you're watching the same games each and every week. Like, I love it anyway because of the fact that, like, I just love watching any sides play. So I'm easy to please is pretty much the way that I'm describing it there. But Kenya, they are very impressive throughout this tournament. Undefeated up till this stage. So you're saying Sevens is the rugby version of the TikTok? Little bit. I guess Sevens is rugby's version of a TV series rather than a movie. Oh. Have I just, as the kids would say, have I just cooked? That's what that's why I don't say anything cool. At the moment, the table, the way that it sits, Kenya at the top of the bunch, 4 wins from 4. They have got themselves the 12 points. The Germans are in second. 4 games played, 3 wins, 1 loss. I'm just going to take a photo of that one. USA are in third. And then at the bottom of the bunch is actually, believe it or not, Canada. They are only sitting with the 1 point. They have lost all of their games throughout this competition with just 1 game that they were within 7 to get the bonus point. We have got there. I really, really need Wales to just keep France to less than 40, says Thuds Race. And also, so you have a bet on that, Thuds Race. Under 40 would be an achievement in itself. And not gambling. I'm a Wales supporter in the Six Nations. Just need something positive from them. France under 40 is positive, says Thuds Race. Definitely with the team that France have selected. And I think it's quite impressive, the team that they've gone with, the French, because they could have easily rested a few guys, but instead they've gone all out to a certain extent. Just a couple changes in that back line, I believe, but the 4-pack's pretty much the same, and they're going to come out firing. But it's going to be a great test for Wales and a great opportunity to learn, hopefully, that little bit more. But yeah, nonetheless, that's the end of this game. 17 points to 7, ladies and gentlemen. So the next game that I have got on the channel, it is taking place at 1:12 a.m. New Zealand time. And it's up against South Africa and Argentina. So we've actually got 2 hours till the next game takes place. So a little while, but anyone just tuning in now, Kenya able to get the victory in this contest. Tries for George Oro, Samuel Wazate, and also Juan that scored the only try in the first half of this match. Cheers, Hamish says, start trades, no worries at all. But yeah, we will see you guys in a couple hours' time for that South Africa versus Argentina match. Anyone who's just interested in Kenya's matches, next game is in about 4 hours up against the USA. I am also doing that one on the channel, followed by the Six Nations between Wales and France. But thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.